Another day of pretty heavy rain. We thought maybe the worst of it could have been over as the center of Carl moved on by.
Soaked. My shoes are wet. My socks are wet. I hate the rain.
Well, hello, and welcome to this month's mental health update. It's March 2024, and it's yet another rainy day. And I guess the theme for this update is I hate the rain because we've had so much rain lately. I mean, it seems every other weekend we're dealing with rain. It's been like this whole winter, if you can even say it's a winter. And the weather's really been bringing me down a lot. The weather's really just caused me to feel really depressed. Today's one of those days I didn't even get outside. I slept most of the day because it rained all day. All day. The rain only just stopped. It's like 8:30 now. The rain finally stopped. And look, I mean, I like thunderstorms, because you get the heavy rain and it's done. But these kind of systems, where it just lingers around, this big low pressure area, are just a pain in the neck. And it's getting hard for me to deal with all these rainy days and these cloudy days. I need the sunshine. And winter is, if you ask me what my favorite season of the year is, it's winter. Because I look forward to those bright, crisp, clear days, especially when you get a little bit of snow. And it's just beautiful. It's perfect weather for hiking. But we haven't had much of that this year. We had a lot of cloudy days, a lot of rainy days, and not a lot of nice, crisp, clear, blue, bitterly cold, sunny days that you get with Arctic air because we've hardly had any Arctic air at all. It's the dryness of the Arctic air that brings those nice, deep blue skies, and we just haven't seen that kind of dryness. In this video, I'm going to be talking about how the climate crisis is actually affecting my mental health. We already have brought it up in many other previous updates about how where I'm living is depressing and all that other stuff. It does feel like we're just forgotten here in the middle of the island where it's all about the Southshore and those preppy people down there, which I'll get to a little bit later. But right now I want to talk about the climate crisis and how it's affecting me. Sunshine is important for my mental health, it's gotten so bad that even when we do have a sunny day that I have trouble getting up because my body is stuck in a cycle now of sleeping a lot, particularly late in the day because of all the cloudy days that we've had. It almost feels like we're at the North Pole where you get 6 months of darkness. I look forward to those cold, crisp days because one of my favorite, most important things that I like to do in life is go to the Pine Barrens. And I haven't been doing nearly as much as I want to do because of the way the weather has been. And you have not seen that many Pine Barrens videos from me because of the weather. It's been very, very depressing. And so it's causing me to just be very fatigued, very depressed, and it makes me wonder, I think about all the getting out of the middle of the island, but maybe I need to just get out of the Northeast if this is the way the climate's going to be from now on. Going to some place like Flagstaff, Arizona, where it's very much like the Pine Barrens, but the weather is so much better. It's sunny all the time. Granted, their average temperature is a little bit warmer than ours is during the winter, but it seems like they have a tendency to get more of those nice, crisp, cold air masses than we do. They don't get stuck in the clouds for endless periods of days. They don't have these rainy day situations. They do get snow. They get more snow. But the type of snow they get is more powdery, so it's not that wet crap that we often get. Um, of course, it wasn't like that when I was growing up. Up until even the 2010s, it seemed like the weather was decent. It seems like that's the 2020 said that's when the weather is really just falling off a cliff. We've seen the signs of the climate change building year by year, but it seems like now, once 2020 hit, it seems like it's really accelerating very rapidly. Um, you know, I posted that we're seeing less and less cold air. In fact, we have a record low amount of Arctic air right now at the North Pole. A record low amount of Arctic air. So we're seeing this, and it's being driven by a number of factors. Obviously, climate change, which also helped fuel the Super El Nino. We also had a volcanic eruption a couple of years ago, Hanga Tonga Hanga Hapai, which usually volcanic eruptions cool the planet, but this volcanic eruption actually put a lot of water vapor into the stratosphere, and that actually created some warming. So all these factors are coming together to make this planet just boil right now. And and if you're anywhere near the oceans are where a lot of the warmth is being, the oceans are being affected greatly by the warmth, and that's where you're feeling it along the coasts. So here in the Northeast, we're just getting a lot more rain, a lot more clouds, and a lot more warmth, and we're not seeing any real cold air. Um, and that's, we follow that Pacific jet all the way up. It's ruined our whole winter. This is the second year in a row we haven't had a winter. Um, we've had like maybe a week or two of cold weather, and that was it. And I shudder to think what's going to happen to the Pine Barrens now after this, where the southern pine beetles are going to go crazy because I think New Jersey is going to be okay because they do the controlled burns. But here, we just don't do enough of these controlled burns. And the beetles are going to go crazy. I don't know how many more pine barrens we're going to lose this year. Could be a record amount. I wouldn't be surprised if we lose 5,000 acres of pine barrens this year to those southern pine beetles. We've lost so much already. This year could be the worst year yet. Without any sustained cold. We haven't had any sustained cold. I think we had a little more Arctic air last year than we had this year, even though we had more snow this year. And this month looks really warm, March. Off the wall warm. So basically it all is taking away, getting back to me, because I know this is a mental health update, but it's all taking away from my enjoyment of life. I need those sunny days, those blue skies. And we're not getting that. Whenever we do get a sunny day, it's haze there. It's not a nice blue sky. And then when the summer comes, we're going to be dealing with the wildfire smoke again from Canada. Because Canada has gotten a very little amount of snow as well. And so they're going to have a lot of fires because the ground's going to be dry. But here we got all this damn rain. So as far as getting wildfires happening, again, it's going to be wet and we can't get those fires to go. And, that's another thing. When I was younger, we had more fires in the Pine Barrens. And now we're not even seeing that many. I'm talking about wildfires. So this is very bad for the Pine Barrens all around on Long Island. And it makes me wonder, are we going to have a Pine Barrens even left in 5 years? At the rate things are going. Because we're not seeing the proper management from New York State. We're not seeing the controlled burns. So it just takes, again, there's one of the most pleasurable things in my life is being on the Pine Barrens on a nice, crisp day with a blue sky. That's my favorite thing in life. And it makes me wonder, maybe it's time tonight, just forget about leaving Long Island or the Northeast and going to New Jersey, going and moving to a place like Flagstaff where the weather is dry. And I know that's really out off the wall. You got to know something about me. I've never been on a plane. I've never traveled further than 100 miles or so away from where I live in Long Island. I've hardly traveled at all in my life. when I was younger, it was, I didn't want to travel. I was afraid to travel. Now I wish I could travel. I've never been on a plane before. I would love to go travel to some other place, um, particularly out west, Flagstaff, you know, Colorado, those kind of places. I wish I could travel to, you know, because it's piney there and the weather's better, um, you know, and I'd like to travel to Flagstaff a couple of times at least. If I had the money, I would travel there, stay there for a week, and if I really liked it, consider moving there. Because the weather here is getting too cloudy for me. It's just getting too cloudy. It's too warm. It's too humid. I hate the humidity. I like it dry. You know, I mean, it's humid out there today. It's early March, and how many humid days have we had this winter? It's ridiculous, man. I don't know. I just wish the weather. I wish people would take climate change seriously. I wish we'd do something about it. We're past the point of our curbing our emissions. We got to actively cool this planet down. We got to find a way to cool this planet down. But again, billions and billions being made on Wall Street, but nobody wants to spend billions and billions to fix this planet. And it takes away from my enjoyment of life, because that's my favorite thing to do, is be in the Pine Barren. You see the picture behind me, nice blue sky. Why can't we have days like that anymore? You know, I'm hoping things change in the next couple of years. I mean, I'm not. Look, I honestly think we'll get some cold weather again eventually. It's the pattern. You know what I mean? There's less cold to go around, but eventually you'll get it. I mean, other parts of the world, of the northern hemisphere, have been cold, like Russia, Siberia, and particularly Asia, China. We just need that cold dome of air over us, and I could get a decent winter. But it's going to be less and less that we're going to have decent winters. So it takes away from my enjoyment of life. It takes away from what I love to do, and it also contributes to, I'm trying to lose weight. So, hiking obviously is my favorite way to do that. I'm just trying to walk around now when I can, but you can't even walk around on a day like today when it's raining all day, At least we'll have a break tomorrow and Monday. It's going to be warm and it's going to be humid too, so I guess I'll have to not wear a jacket because it'll be hot. I mean, as far as why I don't really want to go live in New Jersey, 'cause New Jersey is even hotter and more humid than it is here. They have a tendency to have more clouds too. Yeah, Jersey has a tendency to be cloudier because it's further south. And when fronts stall out, it's more likely for them to, like yesterday, for instance. I got up way early in the morning yesterday, like 6 in the morning, and got into the Pine Barrens by 9 o'clock. I would have had a blue sky, even though it would have gone away by like 11. I mean, Jersey never even got that chance. Um, but it's just really, really depressing, this rain. It's a real challenge to deal with all these rainy days. I hate the rain. I hate going out in the rain. Everything's wet. I hate this kind of rain. Just sick of it. I'm sick of the rain. So, and of course, living where I'm living is depressing. Come here, there's no life at night. It's dead. Everything's not been taken care of. Whereas on the South Shore, everything's taken care of, and I would be much, much happier if I lived on the South Shore. It'd just be, it would be so depressing, if I lived in Rockville Center, or even if I lived in Belmore, you know what I mean? Be some people around at night. It wouldn't be dead, and you can see where you're going. It's lit up. It's not so dark and dreary. No, no, that's only for a certain demographic now, because it's all part of the plan, and the plan is still around, still trying to force us out. Still doing that. It's not like and look, I don't have a desire to be around. When I was young and I lived in that area. When I was young, I lived in North Montauk, which is basically an enclave now. Even back then, it was like a lily white area. You know what I mean? And I didn't like it. You know what I mean? I don't have the desire to be around my own kind like those people do. I just want to be safe. I just want to be happy. It's not right that you have to be in these lily white areas to be in an area that's taken care of. It's ridiculous. You know, I mean, when it comes to, looking for people, being around people, I like being around people of all races and all colors. I don't want to just be around my own kind, especially because my own kind tends to be very snobby and arrogant, especially here on Long Island. People that are more down to earth are usually people of color, you know. When it comes to looking for somebody, a woman in my life, well, I find many of the white women to be very shallow and have that annoying way of talking, whereas the women of color tend to not be like that, you know. So, of course, yeah, I'm being honest, yeah, the kind of girls I like Indian girls, I like Asian girls, I like Hispanic girls, I like girls with black hair and darker skin, yeah, all right. You know what I mean? You're not going to find that on the South Shore. Um, so that's the thing about the South Shore that's a negative, but it's depressing here. And even people of color in the middle of the island, I see them in Rockville Center because they don't want to be in the middle of the island either. They want to go where there's nightlife. They want to go where it's happy too. You know? So, it's very depressing here between the weather, between how dead it is here, and the crime too, of course, makes me nervous going on. Now the crime's starting to spill over to the South Shore, and you're hearing about it, of course. Hearing about it on News 12. Oh, every day they've been in Babylon now, every single day. If that happened in the middle of the island, they wouldn't be there every single day. No, but because it happens to the privileged white people, all of a sudden it's important, right? Because crime happened to them. It happened in their community. So therefore, it's much more important. And it's not just News 12. It's all the media. All the broadcast media. But we don't know if it happened in the middle of the island. You know how many bodies and body parts they found in places like Brentwood and the Pine Barrens? It doesn't get this kind of coverage now. No, although that's not a lily white enclave, so we're not going to talk about it. It's the same type of deal. I hate racism, man. And then we have our... I hate even mentioning his name. County Executive Bruce Blakeman, who has a thing against... He's trying to stir up hate just like that other guy, Donald Trump. Same kind. They're very similar to each other. Same kind of arrogance. And he's very popular on the South Shore. It's the kind of intolerance you have down there. Making extremely ignorant comments about the LGBTQ plus community. Extremely ignorant comments. Doesn't even understand how it works. Doesn't even understand it. I mean, I respect people, I respect people's gender identity, and he needs to respect people's gender identity too. This is coming from a straight as an arrow man, all right? People, you got to respect gender identity. And we're going backwards in Nassau County. And I'm glad the state attorney general, at least the governor should have said something. She's just being quiet. Because Governor Hochul is she's not really progressive at all right? That's just the thing. She's Wall Street, right? But at least Letitia James has come out and said something about it. I really would like to say, if he refuses to take down this order, I'd like to see how I have him locked up. I'd like to see Blakeman hauled away in cuffs. I really would. Just like Trump. They both belong in jail. They're both very, very, very evil, narrow-minded, arrogant people that we have no place for on this planet right now. We never did. So, anyway, I think that's enough. 20 minutes. I don't want to make it too long today. But as for myself, I just wish we get some nice weather. If I could, and I had the money and I had the resources right now, I'd just get on a plane and go to Flagstaff. Because the weather's going to suck for the next couple of weeks here. And at least the next week, I'd just be in Flagstaff for the week. Enjoying those blue skies, those pines, clean air, dry air, because that's what I live for, man. That's what I live for. I live for that. And if I can't get that anymore, well, that's going to be a problem. You know, that's the most important thing in my life are the pines. And while pitch pines obviously are my favorite pines, the ponderosa pines all look very much like pitch pines, and I could definitely see myself living in a place like Flagstaff. They're not going to get affected by the clouds and stuff. They are getting affected by climate change. The summers are hotter. They are getting less snow in the winter to some extent, but because their elevation, the elevation, because they're 6,000 feet or something up. That's another thing. Obviously, people sometimes you have to adjust. The air's a little bit thinner up there, but I think it only takes like a day or two to adjust. But they're up high, so they're kind of, the humidity. There's just no way that humid air can make it up that high. So you're always usually going to get those nice blue skies and stuff. And apparently, ponderosa pines need less water than even pitch pines do. So they grow in some really arid conditions. Really arid conditions. But they do depend on the snowfall. That's usually how they get their moisture content, the snowfall in the winter. But, it's just the lack of sunshine is not good for me. Something's got to give. I don't know what. I mean, if I don't move to Flagstaff, I need to at least maybe find a way that I can go there and spend, when we do have the bad weather spells, to at least be in Flagstaff while that's happening, and then come back here. And I've never been away from here. I'd be nervous about it, of course, but if I had the money, I would do it. It's just a matter of money at this point, which, of course, I don't have enough of, and I don't even know if I'm even allowed to have enough money to even go there, because you have limits when you're under SSI. And that's the last thing, is that they're still clawing back the money from the stimulus that I'm still fighting. I'm gonna have to, it's ridiculous, man. It's like, we're not allowed to have a good life. We're not allowed to have to go away. All that stuff costs money. I don't know how much it costs me to go to Flagstaff and spend a week there. Probably in the thousands, I I don't have that kind of money. So somebody else would have to help me out, buy a plane ticket and get a hotel room for me there. If anyone offers, I'll tell them I'm listening. Anyway, that's it. Thank you for watching, and pray for sunshine, crisp air, because I got a whole nother summer to deal with now, and it's going to be another hot, humid summer the only thing that I'm going to enjoy out of it is if we get a lot of severe thunderstorms. I like that. But I'm really scared of the hurricanes that could come and cause some serious problems. But that's more related to the weather, and I guess I'll save that for the weather update. This is the mental health update. It's just a matter of the weather and my mental health kind of coming into one video here. And, this weather is extremely depressing. And if you think it's depressing, imagine what it's like when you have mental illness. And the thing that you love the most is being taken away from you. You can't even enjoy that because the weather sucks so bad. You can't even go and walk around outside because it's raining. I hate the rain. Take it easy.